Supplements sit in a strange middle ground. They're not quite food, and they're not medicine either. They're concentrated nutrients meant to support specific systems when your diet comes up short. Supplement means in addition to, not instead of. If the foundation underneath is broken, supplements don't fix it. They sit on top of it and only work as well as your biology allows. Most supplements fall into a few clear categories, each with a specific job. Vitamins and minerals keep basic cellular machinery running. Amino acids support structure and repair. Herbs influence stress and inflammation. Enzymes help break food down so nutrients can actually get absorbed. And probiotics introduce bacteria into the gut ecosystem. They also come in different forms. Some are lab-isolated molecules. Others are whole food-derived and packaged with cofactors. Some are concentrated extracts designed to deliver a specific compound at a higher dose. None of that is automatically better or worse. Biology doesn't care about natural labels. It responds to structure, dose, timing, and context. Synthetic doesn't mean fake, and whole food doesn't mean perfect. If the form doesn't match the gap, you're just wasting money. Supplements aren't miracle cures. They're targeted tools. If you don't know what gap you're filling, you're not supplementing. You're guessing. That's the frame everything else builds on. Once a supplement enters your body, the real work starts. Swallowing it is the easy part. What matters is whether it survives digestion, gets absorbed, and reaches the system it's meant to support. Everything follows the same pipeline. Mouth to stomach, stomach to small intestine, then on to the liver. No shortcuts, no special treatment just because something came in a capsule. Stomach acid is the first gatekeeper. It breaks capsules apart, unfolds compounds, and prepares them for enzymes. When acid is low from stress, aging, or certain medications, absorption drops immediately. That's why someone can take the right supplement at the right dose and still feel nothing. Most absorption happens in the small intestine. Its lining is covered in villi and microvilli, tiny folds that increase surface area and give nutrients more chances to cross into the body. Even then, crossing isn't automatic. Many nutrients need transporters, cofactors, or very specific conditions to get through. This is where form starts to matter. Chelated minerals are bound to amino acids, which can reduce competition during absorption. Methylated B vitamins bypass conversion steps that can be slow in some people. Liposomal and sublingual forms are designed to improve delivery or bypass parts of digestion altogether. Everything that gets absorbed still reports to the liver. The liver decides what gets stored, converted, used, or discarded. If the body doesn't recognize a demand, the supplement isn't prioritized. Form can improve outcomes, but it never overrides biology. Absorption determines whether a supplement even enters the conversation. Use determines whether it actually matters. Most supplements fall into a few functional categories based on what system they're meant to support. Understanding this matters, because using the wrong category for the wrong problem is how people end up thinking supplements don't work. One group is performance supplements. These are designed to increase output or delay fatigue. Creatine supports rapid energy buffering. Beta-alanine reduces muscular burn during repeated effort. Caffeine increases alertness by blocking fatigue signals. These don't correct deficiencies. They push capacity when the system is already functioning. Another group is foundational supplements. Vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s fall here. Their role isn't enhancement, it's maintenance. They support basic cellular processes that food used to cover more reliably. When these are low, everything downstream underperforms. Energy, mood, recovery, and focus all take a quiet hit. Then there are herbs and adaptogens. These don't add fuel or structure. They influence stress signaling. Compounds like ashwagandha or rhodiola help smooth the stress response when demand is high. They don't remove stressors, they reduce disruption. Gut-focused supplements form another category. Probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes affect digestion and absorption. If nutrients aren't getting in, nothing downstream matters. Every supplement fits one of these roles. Problems start when a top-tier tool is used to fix a bottom-tier issue. If the category doesn't match the problem, the supplement isn't failing. It's misplaced. When people say a supplement gives energy, they usually mean it changes how tired they feel. That's not the same thing as producing energy. Your body runs on ATP. That's the actual currency. Calories are inputs, and ATP is what gets spent. Every thought, movement, and heartbeat draws from it. Carbs, fats, and protein don't become energy on their own. They have to be processed inside your cells, specifically inside mitochondria. These are the engines that convert raw materials into ATP, and they rely on cofactors to keep the process moving. That's where supplements often play a role. B vitamins help convert carbohydrates into usable energy. Magnesium stabilizes ATP so it doesn't fall apart. Iron carries oxygen so mitochondria don't stall, while copper helps iron do its job. Zinc activates enzymes that keep the chain running. When one of these is missing, energy production doesn't shut down, it slows. That's why deficiencies feel subtle. You're not exhausted, you're underpowered. Focus drops, stress tolerance shrinks, and effort feels heavier than it should. Timing matters because absorption and use change with context. Fat-soluble vitamins absorb better with meals that contain fat. Water-soluble vitamins work best with steady intake. Minerals compete, so taking everything at once can reduce how much gets used. This is where stimulants blur the picture. Caffeine doesn't improve ATP production. It blocks fatigue signals, making you feel sharper while the system underneath stays the same. Supplements that support energy don't stimulate. They improve conversion and timing. Energy isn't added. It's unlocked when the conditions are right. And none of that matters if nutrients never make it in. No supplement works if your gut can't absorb it. You can take the right compound at the right dose and still get nothing if digestion and absorption are compromised. The gut isn't just a tube food passes through. It's an active processing system. Everything you eat has to be broken down, absorbed, and moved across a barrier that controls what enters the body. When that barrier becomes inflamed or weakened, absorption drops and immune activity rises, pulling resources away from digestion. Probiotics are often misunderstood. They don't permanently fix the gut. They introduce bacteria, most of which pass through within days. Whether any of them stick depends on the environment they enter. That environment is shaped by prebiotics. Prebiotics, mainly fiber, feed beneficial bacteria already living in the gut. When those bacteria ferment fiber, they produce compounds that support the gut lining, reduce inflammation, and improve nutrient absorption. Without fiber, probiotics have limited impact. This is why gut supplements feel inconsistent. Their effects depend on context. Stress, sleep, food choices, and medications all influence outcomes. A probiotic can't outwork a diet that keeps feeding the wrong microbes. When gut function improves, everything downstream benefits. Vitamins absorb better, minerals interfere less, and energy production becomes more efficient. The change feels subtle. Fewer issues show up at once, which is usually the first sign absorption is finally working. Supplements don't operate in a vacuum. When stress stays high, the body quietly shifts its priorities, and a lot of supplements stop working the way people expect. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated. Cortisol's job is survival. It raises blood sugar, mobilizes stored fuel, and pulls resources away from repair. That's helpful in short bursts. When it becomes constant, it starts working against you. Under sustained cortisol, the body breaks down muscle to release glucose into the bloodstream. That isn't energy production, it's emergency fuel. If you're not actually using it, that fuel gets stored, often as fat, while muscle and recovery take the hit. This is where supplements get misused. You feel run down, so you reach for stimulants, nootropics, or fat burners. They don't fix the stress response. They just add stimulation on top of an already overloaded system. High stress also interferes with digestion and absorption. Blood flow shifts away from the gut, appetite signals get noisy, and nutrient uptake becomes less reliable. Even well-chosen supplements struggle to land when the body is stuck in threat mode. That's why supplements feel inconsistent under chronic stress. They work when the system is calm enough to use them, and fade when the system stays reactive. Stress doesn't make supplements useless, but it raises the bar for them to matter. Until stress comes down, supplements act as background support, not solutions. They work best when the body actually has permission to recover. Here's the side people don't talk about. The supplement industry isn't regulated the way most people think. Supplements are treated more like food than medicine, which means they don't have to prove effectiveness before they hit the shelf. Oversight usually happens after problems show up, not before. That creates a wide quality gap. Some products are well formulated and responsibly tested. Others are built to sell, not to work. Proprietary blends are a common example. They list ingredients but hide doses, making it impossible to know what's actually doing anything. Sometimes the effective ingredient is underdosed. Sometimes it's barely there. Contamination is another issue. Poor sourcing can introduce heavy metals or unwanted compounds. In other cases, products are spiked with stimulants just to create a noticeable effect. That doesn't mean the supplement works. It means it's loud. Third-party testing helps reduce risk. Certifications like NSF, USP, or Informed Sport verify label accuracy and screen for contaminants. It doesn't guarantee results, but it removes guesswork. This is why skepticism matters. Not cynicism, just clarity. Supplements work because they support real systems at meaningful doses, not because they're popular or aggressively marketed. Once you understand how supplements work, the next question is when they actually matter. That comes down to order. Most people start at the end and work backward, which is why results feel inconsistent. The first step is removing interference. Ultra-processed food disrupts appetite signals, inflames the gut, and reduces absorption. No supplement overrides a system that's constantly being irritated. If the inputs are breaking the machine, they have to be addressed first. Next comes protein. Protein supports structure, repair, enzymes, and neurotransmitters. When intake is low, everything downstream becomes fragile. Protein also regulates hunger more effectively than any supplement ever will. When intake is adequate, cravings often come on their own. Then come the energy dials. Protein stays relatively steady, while carbs and fats adjust based on activity and demand. Lower output means lower carbs. Higher output means higher fuel. This is where most diet debates live, even though they're just different ways of adjusting the same variables. Only after those foundations are in place do supplements become meaningful. Now you're not guessing. You're filling specific gaps based on symptoms, lifestyle demands, or blood work. That's targeted support, not random stacking. This is also where understanding ranges matters. RDAs are minimums designed to prevent deficiency, not optimize performance. Upper limits exist for a reason because more isn't always better. The goal is adequacy, not excess. Supplements aren't random once you understand the system underneath them. Hit like and subscribe if this clarified things for you. Up next, we're unpacking how brain supplements actually work.